food and starts mixing it up and mushes it into little pieces. But that's all hydrochloric acid does, is really just breaks it down more. But it still doesn't create a chemical reaction that you can pull iron and vitamin A and stuff out of it. It just makes it smaller and smaller. So soda, okay, here's something that happens with soda. When we drink soda, soda contains something called carbonic acid. And believe it or not, as it mixes with hydrochloric acid, it actually neutralizes our hydrochloric acid. And so this food isn't being broken down. And so now tons of enzymes have to be pumped in to try to overcompensate, but our pancreas is so fatigued, so the enzymes aren't even there. So now we have all this food that's barely broken down, getting into our intestinal tract, and it just clots and sticks, and it starts creating constipation. But our body's like, wait, I know the answer. I'm gonna put all this acid in my digestional tract and mix it all up and liquefy it, and so then we kind of have diarrhea. So certain people have constipation and diarrhea, and it simply could have been stemmed from lack of enzymes, even sodas that they're drinking that are literally alkali or neutralizing the hydrochloric acid, but other things that it does too. Our body should have this very nice lining that coats our digestional tract. It's called our mucosa lining. And this mucosa lining acts as a filter that prevents the waste and toxins in our gut from even entering our bloodstream. Because this whole pathway is an avenue to pull things out of it into our bloodstream. Imagine that. So we're thinking, all right, we have all these weird toxins and fecal matter moving through our intestinal tract, and the idea then is for it to pull nutrients and stuff out of it to our bloodstream. Well, how our bodies filter that is this mucosa lining, which is primarily should be built up of good bacteria. In fact, you have about 100 trillion bacteria that live in your digestional tract, about 1,000 different types and species. And so these good bacteria eat stuff away. They're the ones that filter all the waste and toxins. So when you hear a lot about probiotics and why they're so important, they're crucial. Because many times our mucosa lining and good bacteria are so diminished that we all day long just leak toxins and waste from the things that we're eating and things that we're around. We just leak these toxins and waste right into our bloodstream. And so they get to our cells, and they create radical damage, and they create a lot of digestional issues. And so the bacteria that's supposed to be eating that stuff away isn't there. And the thing people say, well, what happened to it? Well, every time you take antibiotics, it kills the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, so there's pros and cons there. But every time you have to take an antibiotic, you want to be able to take good forms of probiotics. But that's not the number one thing why our probiotics aren't, or our good flora aren't existing anymore. Many times it's from acidity. Bad bacteria love acidic environments. They love it. Good bacteria can't really live in acidic environments whatsoever. Okay? And so they die off. And so if we're acidic from too much proteins, fats, or sugars circulating, that raises acidity. If we're drinking a lot of different things like coffee and sodas, that also raises our acidity. If we're consuming way too many types of different foods, our acidic foods, all that stuff destroys our good bacteria. And so we're destroying our filter. It's like destroying our liver and kidneys. And that's really the only system our digestive tract uses to filter out these toxins and waste, is these good bacteria. So many times people need to take good forms of probiotics to dramatically help build that filter it's almost like a pool filter. Without it, you just get a bunch of clouded and gross water. And that stuff shows up in our blood. Okay? So any questions about probiotics or just waste and toxins from what we just kind of discussed?
When is the best time to take like a pill form of probiotics?
Yeah, great question. There's really not a best time to take it. Usually we want people to take it with food because again, the stomach acids can kill the probiotics very quickly. So a lot of times if you take it with food, it helps decrease it from destroying the probiotics because the acid is kind of neutralized a little bit by what we're eating in the food and stuff. And one time we had someone said, oh, I'll just drink it with my soda. Does that neutralize the hydrochloric acid? No, you're missing the point here.
Right.
So the best time to take a probiotic is usually with just a small meal that you're eating, and that's usually the best time to take it. Okay? And so sometimes you want to take it a couple times a day. You want good, healthy bacteria. We usually recommend at least 12 billion cultures on a daily basis. I know, for example, the Fiber Pro from Isogenics, talking with research and development, it contains 6 billion cultures, okay, active cultures. And so you want to take it at least twice a day to help with getting at least that 12,000 number, okay? So We've identified a lot of problems that we see, but we want to now just help identify quickly some solutions, all right? The solution is getting stuff from the nutrients that we're eating, the lifestyles that we live. So understanding nutrients, this is where we think most of our foods come from. When we feel good, we're thinking, all right, they come from these great farms and these great sources, but most of the time, much of our food comes from hydroponic growers. They come from crops that are never rested. Sometimes crops that have been imported all the way from China that literally were picked 2 months ago and you're just now getting it, and they've been modified and sprayed with certain things so that it can still operate as a vegetable or a fruit, even though it's literally been 2 months old since it was picked. So I don't think anybody's going to argue that our food quality isn't quite what it used to be. So I always tell people, do the best you can. Do the best you can, guys. You know, try to find organic foods. If you can find like organic local gardens that people have co-ops with and different things, that's ideal. A little bit of that goes a long way, okay? But just, the sources aren't there anymore, and so we have to supplement. That's why supplements are so big. That's why it's such a huge industry. Why so many people get them, is they actually help provide the nutrients we need. So there's 4 main things that we find help with bioavailability. Bioavailability is getting nutrients to the cells. That's what bioavailability is. And a constituent is a part that helps it get there. It's part of something. So these are 4 things that we find that really good supplement companies go through to have really good products. Chelation is a process that takes minerals and puts little strands of amino acids on them, and that's what allows them to be absorbed into the actual cells of the body. If you just eat a rock from the ground, you're not going to get the nutrients from that rock. It has to be chelated. Plants do this naturally for us, so then we eat the plant who took it out from the ground. It's actually been changed so we can absorb it. But there's now processes called chelation that can do that for us, and so minerals need to be chelated. Isogenics uses chelated minerals. The recipe and formula, this is a combination of where it's grown, how it's manufactured, the care that it's taken to actually make the product. And I started learning about where the products are coming from. You know, a lot of the products that Isogenics has come from these beautiful South American farms. These beautiful South American organic farms that are grown in like these rainforest type areas. So they're weathered naturally, the soil is nice and rich with nutrients. And so, you know, I hate to say it, but if I start reading about products that were grown in America, like I love American made, but if it's a type of food, many times I'm very skeptical just because we don't take as care, and there's weird regulations and all this different stuff that takes place that don't make it as good of a product anymore. And then it should contain enzymes and constituents. So enzymes can help break down it even more, help us. And constituents means it contains the right formula. Like if you are taking just iron by itself, you need calcium, you need vitamin C to absorb it, you need certain B vitamins to absorb it, and it becomes this complete kind of constituent mineral that you can actually absorb. And so those 4 things are crucial. And these common denominators happen with major companies that do good with their products. So the first one, most people have heard of it, the Cleanse for Life. This is an incredible product that naturally helps your body's filtration systems get the support nutrients they need so that you naturally can cleanse better and better and better. It strengthens the liver, it strengthens the kidneys, it allows for a lot of the waste and toxins being built up to actually be eliminated properly. The Ageless Essentials, they also have the product B that you can get in the multivitamin as well. These are powerful vitamins and minerals and other antioxidants and other essential nutrients that were sourced from places in nature that actually make a huge difference with the absorbability into the bloodstream. The shakes, if you look at any of the shakes, they contain good blends of enzymes that naturally help break down the product better and help break down some of the proteins in there. And they pack with a lot of other powerful vitamins and minerals. The fruit and veggies, these are one of my favorite, the ice of greens and the ice of fruits. These are literally just blended up fruits and vegetables. Okay? Never cooked past a certain degrees, so they're still active. They still have a lot of good live enzymes in them and live nutrients. The product B, this is a powerful technology that helps with telomere growth. Telomeres are what helps us actually have genetic information that prevents aging. And so, you know, we can get into a lot of different information about telomeres, but telomeres need nutrients to be able to produce the way that they need to. And product B has those unique nutrients to make that happen. The Ionic Supreme, powerful B vitamins. As I do more people's blood from Isogenics, I rarely ever see people that need B vitamins because they're packed full of so many good Bs. And this is what's rare. A lot of other companies don't. And so you're looking at their cells, and they're kind of odd-shaped and weird because they're not getting as many B vitamins. Not only does it have B vitamins, it has plant adaptogens. And plant adaptogens are things that actually allow your body to de-stress better, that can actually create chemical reactions from certain phytonutrients that allow you to reduce inflammation and provide other nutrients. So the Ionic Supreme is an awesome product. The multi-enzyme complex, powerful proteolytic enzymes, lipase enzymes, and amylase enzymes to break down our macronutrients. We've already got a lot of people taking those. The Fiber Pro we talked about, this really dramatically helps with the cleansing of the intestinal tract, good probiotics, other things that help cleanse that area out. It can kind of become dirty and yucky. So Health Scope was really designed to help people identify where are you at. What might you be missing that you're completely unaware of? And then we partner with companies like Isogenic to say, here's really good solutions, because we've actually seen them work with people. We know that the products work well, and so here's what we recommend, based off of what those people need. And so, but it's more than just taking a particular product to say, oh, well, I need an enzyme, so I'm just going to take an enzyme. This is about a lifestyle change. And a lifestyle change with managing your weight and becoming healthy requires more than just an enzyme. It requires a change where you're taking the healthy shakes and the multivitamins, you're taking the enzymes for this, you're doing the cleanses, and so it literally becomes a lifestyle that people, if they want to be healthy, then you have to be willing to change and do some things. And we find it, and all of you that have been on Isogenics for a while, you've seen it in your own lives, you've seen it in other people's lives, because the products work. And it has to be a combination of certain ones that are helping to create that lifestyle change. And these are obviously what we find most of the time with people. They're increasing energy, reducing fatigue, improving digestion, reducing inflammation, helping to avoid leading health risks, things like diabetes and cancer and heart disease, all because they're getting the right nutrients, which are giving them good cellular health. So I'm kind of a yoga guy, and so any of you that do yoga, Namaste is a term that means the divine in me bows to the divine in you. So in closing, I'll simply say Namaste. Namaste. Okay, so any questions about anything that we've covered so far? All right, so if any of you actually want to get your Health Scope evaluation